Helping Restore Ability, Sam's Living Legacy. Interviews with Mildred Provence, mother of Sam, later Sam's sister.
December the 8th, 1958, I stayed with Sammy. And Sammy said, I know what's wrong. I saw it up over the door when I came in. He saw that it was the polio ward. They didn't have anything in Arlington. In fact, they had to get a iron lung that had been stored away somewhere because the polio was over, they thought. And anyway, he couldn't move a thing time they put him in the iron lung. And for about 2 or 3 days, I think it was, we didn't know if he'd live or not. And then he kind of coming to, but he never could move anything else. He could move one toe, I think. So, but he could talk. And so that's how he started Arlington Handicapped Association. Him and Allan Saxe was just one of a kind, I think. And they had a lot of fun, you know, arguing back and forth. And Sammy thought he knew it all, you know, so Allan Saxe had to get him straightened out about that. Well, he was fun-loving. He did the best that he could with what he had.
I'm Sarah McCorkle. I was Sam's youngest of the older people in the family. I was 3 years older than Sam. Yeah, he had no capacity to breathe outside the iron lung, but they taught him to do what is called frog breathing, where you got the air in and swallow it. And they taught him to frog breathe. He got to the point so that he had what they called a pneuma belt that fit around his waist and mashed air in and out for him, so he could use a hose that fit in his mouth with that machine to breathe in and out. But the frog breathing, as his lungs got stronger, he did more. In fact, he took was it to Washington, D.C. that he flew? Of course, the airlines were afraid to death of him. I mean, you know, you're back then, and have this person in a wheelchair to start with, getting on an airplane. And so he basically lied to them to get on the plane to say, oh, I can breathe without my machine, blah, 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 for a while. And he basically frog breathed about 2.5, 3 hours to take that flight. The airline would have probably never let him on if they had known the shape he was really in, but that's just the way he was. He was determined to be as normal as everybody else. He was to meet with some of the representatives from Texas and get more information on how to get funds for disability, for helping the disabled. More and more involved with ways to get HRA off the ground. And he was not shy, and he always said, if you don't speak up, then people are not going to know what you need, and go from. So he was amazing. He did a lot in his 33 years.
My name is Allan Saxe. I teach at the University of Texas at Arlington. I've been here for 40 years. This summer of 2005, it'll be 40 years. I met Sam Provence when he was a student in several of my advanced political science classes. And the classes were relatively small, about 30 to 40 students, which is a pretty small class for me, really. I teach a lot of large introductory classes. And I got to know him pretty well. But it was Sam's courage and determination, along with the John Dykuses and a few others that come to mind as well, that helped to put the organization together when I was on the board. But they had in-home projects, they had apartment projects, and it's really amazing to see how that struggling organization has emerged to be a strong, ongoing, very professional organization. And I had polio as a child in Oklahoma at the age of about 8. And thankfully, I was one of the lucky ones. And I did have a limp, a slight limp in high school and in junior high school. And through a lot of physical therapy and a lot of nourishment of all sorts, it got my muscles strengthened and it got a little bit better. If Sam Provence were here today to see our HRA today, it would be unbelievable. What a legacy to leave behind. What a legacy of a huge multi-million-dollar budget serving scores of people in the area. It's although I encounter disabled individuals all the time in my classrooms, I'm proud of them, they're wonderful, but to bring up Sam's name, he was one of the first, and no question about it, one of the best. Somebody has to make those breakthroughs, like in civil rights movements or the women's movement, or somebody has to make that breakthrough. Sam did it in this area with disabilities, and he has to be honored and remembered for that.
Hi, my name is Luke Jensen. I'm 22. I'm a full-time student at the University of Texas at Arlington, majoring in communication technology and Spanish. And I also happen to have cerebral palsy. Thanks to agencies like HRA, I am able to live on campus, welcome to my dorm room, and basically live as normal a life as possible. I can be much more independent, and thanks to HRA, I've been able to have much more time to further my interests, such as the fact that I actually teach a freshman orientation course here. And that's been actually the first stable paying job I've ever held in my 22 years of life, and I've really enjoyed it too. Next year will be my last year of college, but it will be the 3rd year that I've taught the freshman orientation course, and it really makes me feel good to know that I'm giving back to the community, especially since I have to rely so much on people assisting me. It's nice to assist other people in return. I need total assistance with just about everything, namely getting dressed, using the restroom, taking a shower, that kind of thing. And HRA has basically just been a godsend, because without them, I don't know where I'd be. I'm not sure exactly what I'll be doing with my life, but I do have an ambition to possibly get into the computer entertainment software industry. So we'll see where God leads me.
Luke has typed "Thanks, HRA" on his computer. Photos of people with disabilities in various settings. Here for good.